somebody won a copy of Herb Magic by Patti Wigington, and I'm gonna announce that lucky winner's name. But stick around for the whole video because I'm also gonna share the spell for post-trauma healing out of Patti's fantastic book. Coming right up. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. We are in the Witch's Studio, hanging out in the book nook today because this is kind of part 2 of a 2-part about Patti Wigington's fantastic book, Herb Magic, an introduction to herbalism and spells. As most of you guys know who are probably here, I did a review on this book last week and we did a giveaway. I will post the review right up here. Earlier today, I grabbed the link for that video and I dropped it into a online people picker, random people picker thing. Anyway, so I captured video of that and here it is. You can see it kind of randomly flashes a bunch of names on the screen and the winner is, drum roll please. Oh my God, that's the worst drum roll ever. Jolie Cleary, congratulations, you won a copy of Herb Magic by Patti Wigington. Jolie Cleary wrote in the comments that her favorite herb to use and the one that she uses the most is rosemary. And I can totally relate to that. I love rosemary. But as you guys know from the comments, I love a ton of herbs. Congratulations, Jolie. What I want you to do is you can hit me up on Instagram or on Facebook. I think I found you on Facebook and I friended you. So just send me a private message. Do not put your address down below in the comments. Send me a private message either on Instagram or on Facebook and give me your address. I will forward it on to the publisher and they will get your book sent to you. This is really exciting. I hope that you love it. If you decide to post a picture of it after you receive the book because it's gorgeous, make sure that you tag me and for goodness sakes, tag Patti Wigington too, because I know that she would be really excited to see who the contest winner is. Now, as you guys know, when I do a giveaway, I like to have something for everybody whenever I announce the winner. That way nobody gets left out because I love all of you guys and I want everybody to have something wonderful. What better way to celebrate Patti's fantastic book than to share a spell out of her book? Because that's what I usually like to do, is share a spell with you guys. So we're going to share a spell out of Patti's book. I had you guys vote in a poll to decide what the topic of the spell was that you guys wanted. I kind of had a feeling it was going to go that way. I think that we were all, a lot of us at least, on the same page. Now, I know that a lot of people also voted for, you know, other spells, like some people voted for money, some people voted for protection. What the other one even was, because my hippocampus is broken right now, because that's what stress does. It breaks your hippocampus. That's part of your brain that is responsible for memory, and mine is going, she's trying as hard as she can. Anyway, I will definitely be doing more spells on those subjects as well in the future. And of course you can find those spells in some of my other videos, but I'll be doing more. But today, my dears, my lovelies, for those of you watching in the future, this video is on June 6, 2020. So, yeah, this was a week for the history books, and it has been very hard on a lot of people. So, basically, anybody who isn't living under a rock is watching and experiencing a lot of hard things right now that humanity has to look at. And absolutely has to look at regarding the pandemic, regarding race, and regarding inequality, and a lot of other awful things that are happening in our country right now. If you're watching this in the future, give me a thumbs up if it got better, because I believe that it will. I have hope that we're all going to do our part and to make the world a better place. A lot of us are experiencing trauma right now. A lot of us have experienced trauma for a long time, which is kind of the point of the current situation. Completely unrelated to current events, I am in treatment right now for PTSD myself. Why am I still holding this? I don't need to be holding this still. I will tell you one of the things that I have learned through my work to heal trauma. Trauma that is dealt with and looked at and stared at in the face and acknowledged that you can manage to heal from. You can reframe in a way that you can remember the trauma and realize that it happened without it controlling your actions from behind that curtain. So in other words, you have to look behind the curtain and acknowledge the trauma in order for you to be able to heal from it. We have to see it and say, this was traumatic. This really hurt. And feel it and see it. And I don't know, you would think that Patti was some kind of fantastic witch, because some of the stuff, you guys, in this book that just came out in 2020, and I know how long it takes between the time that you write a book and the time that it's actually published. And I didn't ask Patti. Maybe she'll tell us in the comments, but I'm betting at least a year ago she probably wrote this, because it takes time. The publishing process takes time. She had a lot of insight, because she's got a lot of spells in here that kind of deal with what we're dealing with right now in this current situation, and especially the healing spells. It's like, I kind of had a hard time picking, but after this week I was like, no. I didn't want to go easy. I decided, you know what? We're seeing trauma. We need to deal with it. We need to deal with it in order for us to be strong enough to move forward and do the things that we need to do to make the world a better place. That's so important. It's a long time coming. So we are going to heal some damn trauma. All right, I am going to read a little bit for you directly from Patti's book, okay? And this is Spell for Post-Trauma Healing. Many of us carry trauma within us, both physical and emotional. While trauma is complex and won't be eliminated with just one magic spell, this working can help you focus as you heal. Do this spell during the waning moon, which is coming up, boys and girls. We just had the full moon yesterday. So anytime you want to do this, the moon is getting smaller and smaller, so this is the perfect time to heal some trauma. Do this spell during the waning moon phase and start banishing trauma, pain, and suffering from your life. I also truly believe when we are able to banish the trauma from our lives, we can better understand the trauma that other people face and have more compassion for them. So this is good for everybody right now. We all need to be looking at our stuff. We all need to be looking deep inside. What you're going to need is 3 small strips of paper. This is just some parchment paper that I had around. You're going to need a pen, any pen, 3 straight pins, thumbtacks, or small nails, 3 black candles. These are black on the outside and red on the inside. That's just what I had in the house. I didn't have any taper candles that were pure black, but this works for me. This is valerian root. This is the form that I have it in, is a capsule from the health food store. It's a great tip for you guys if you can't find these herbs anywhere else. That's a good way you can get valerian root. And nettle, which is the other herb. You can get it as a tea, or you can get it in these capsules. On the 3 pieces of paper, write down the words that describe the source of the trauma that you're battling. It may be transgenerational, emotional, physical, whatever it is. Name it. Abuse, assault, pain, fear, addiction. Be specific in your wording. I'm doing mine a little differently. I am sprinkling these herbs onto a piece of paper. And the reason for that is her spell calls for stalks of these herbs to be tied to the candles. I do not have stalks. I just have these in the ground form. So instead, I am going to anoint my candles with a little olive oil, because a relatively neutral oil, and I don't want to mess with the formulation of this spell. And then I'm going to roll them in the herbs rather than tying them onto the candles as it specifies in the spell that Patti has written. I feel like this still stays in the spirit of the spell. I'm using all the same ingredients. I'm just applying them in a slightly different way. And you can do this in spells as well. I didn't have 3 proper candle holders, so I'm using the black salt that we made a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to use the black salt to hold my candles in. Now, you are supposed to pin the petition sheets that you have written your trauma that you're battling on, and you pin these to the outside of the candles. And the idea is that as the herbs burn with the paper, they'll help banish the trauma and guide you towards healing. Now, this was a little tough to get set up. What I will say after having done it is if you're going to do this spell, use a bigger dish than I did. And you could even melt the candles to the bottom of the dish, but make sure you have a big dish because I don't know, just in case your wax pools up a lot. Mine pooled up a lot. You also want a bigger dish so that when those papers catch on fire, that you're sure that they will fall into the dish and not cause any problems. This is a spell that you want to attend while it's burning. Do not leave this unattended. But I will say this was very powerful. The next step that you are going to do is you light the candles one at a time. As you see, I've done that. As they burn, shout out the words that are on the paper and banish them. Get angry if you need to. And Patti writes, pain, I banish you from my life. Abuse, you have no control over me. Fear, I will not let you rule me. Yell out your fury and your rage and all the things you have bottled up as many times as you like. Really release this, you guys. Really release everything that you have into these candles. And don't be afraid to get mad because that is part of how this spell works. As you can see, my candles were red on the inside. And I didn't mind that because part of the healing that I'm working on, not all, but part of it, is transgenerational ancestor work. So we're talking about bloodline stuff that the women in my family have been trying to heal for generations. So yeah, that's how I justified using the red candle with the black on the outside like that. But ideally just a black candle for this spell. I just used those because that was what I had. As you can see, when those little petitions finally catch on fire, it is super satisfying while you're there and you're yelling and you're chanting and you're doing the things and you see that flare up and flame up and burn away. It's really, really satisfying. Beautiful spell to do. Very powerful. Yeah, it's not fuzzy and soft and lovely, but it really pulls all of that out of you and into the spell and burns it away. Keep a close eye on these candles as they burn all the way down. This book, Herb Magic, she has a lot of really thoughtful spells in this book. This is just one example. I think there were 75 spells in this book. So, you know, if you don't have a copy of it, it's not very expensive. Definitely worth the price for some really great herb magic. I have some different ways for disposing of candle remnants. Probably one of the most pragmatic ways is to take those spell elements, put them in a brown paper bag, roll that up, and you can throw it into a fire if you want to. But another way for really bad stuff, sometimes I don't want to burn it up. Sometimes I just want to get it away from me. So one of the ways that I do it, and a lot of people have different ways of doing it. You don't have to do it the way I do it, but this is kind of how I do it. Is roll, kind of close it up in a brown paper bag. I will drive far from my home to like a store that I never go to, and I will get out of my car and I will walk into the store, and as I do, I'll chuck it into the trash can right outside of the store. maybe go in and buy a pack of gum and leave, and do not look at that trash can. Do not look at it. Walk away. You can do the same at like a car wash far from your home. But the idea is you throw it in there, turn around, don't look at it again, because you want to leave it behind you. So that's a good way of doing it. Some people want to get super witchy with it and bury it at a crossroads. If that is available to you and you can do that, by all means, go for it. What I will say is be careful how you dispose of spell elements so that you are not damaging the environment in the process. I'm also going to suggest that after you have completed this spell, I think it's a super good idea to then do some big self-care. And that would include something like take a little ritual bath. And if all you have is just like throw a chamomile tea bag in your bath with some salt, because I know a lot of people are sheltering in still, or just don't have access to a lot of supplies. That's totally fine. A little salt. So you can use orange peels, you can use lemon peels. If you have Florida water, throw a little Florida water into your bath. That will really help. But after you have, cast away this whole thing, you really want to bring your vibes back. Man, take a break. Watch a comedy. Have a little snack. Be it a healthy snack or a non-healthy snack. But just take care of yourselves, dears, because we all need each other. And if we haven't learned that this year, then I just don't know what. We all need each other. And I'm happy that we have a place here where we can talk to each other and experience magic. So let's just keep giving each other care and supporting each other through this stuff, because we're going to come out the other side stronger than we were when we went into it. I feel it very strongly. I felt it last night when that full moon came up. I wasn't outside, but I literally felt that moon rising, and I really believe that there's a shift happening. And we're going to see some healing for humanity. But healing isn't always easy. It isn't always pretty. Healing is hard. But if we can support each other, then we can get through it. So let's just keep going. Let's just keep going, people, right? Again, congratulations to Jolie for winning the Herb Magic Book giveaway. And do a little self-care if you can this week. If you know anybody who's going through a hard time, and I don't know anybody who's not right now, feel free to share this video with them because they might find this spell useful as well. Here's a couple more videos that I think you guys will enjoy. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. Be healthy. Be happy. And remember, as always, my dears, to be your magic.